Hello mga ka-learners! Teacher Carmela again here. In Lesson 2, you learn the characteristics of good seeds and how to irrigate plants. In this lesson, you will learn how to identify some of the nutrients needed by plants to grow, as well as differentiate between natural and commercial fertilizers. The scientific method can also be used in choosing fertilizers that are best suited for plants. After this lesson, you should be able to first, identify some of the nutrients needed by plants. Second, know what fertilizers are and state their importance in agriculture. And lastly, to differentiate between commercial and natural fertilizers. Let's continue from where we left in Lesson 2. Do you still remember Mangustin, the farmer who planted rice? 3 weeks have passed and the rice plants were already tall. Mangustin and his sons started to pull out weeds from the rice field. In one part of their field, Paul noticed that the rice plants were small and pale. Their growth seemed to be stunted. What might have happened?
Father, the rice plants here look unhealthy. Do you think they need something?
I am also wondering, why, son?
Good morning, Mangustin. I'm here to visit your field.
It's good you came, Mr. Cruz. A portion of our rice field seems to be unhealthy. The plants look pale. There might be something wrong. Kindly take a look at them.
It's not a big problem. The plants look like they need to be fertilized. You can buy a commercial fertilizer or use an organic fertilizer such as compost.
What does a fertilizer do to the plants? We also have plenty of dry carabao, manure in our backyard. Can we use it?
Carabao manure is a good natural fertilizer. Of course you can use it. Fertilizers supply the necessary food that plants need, which the soil cannot provide.
Mr. Cruz was right. Plants need nutrients too. Most of these nutrients are supplied by the soil. However, the nutrients from the soil may not be enough. That is why fertilizers are needed. These nutrients are elements that are essential to the plant's growth. Nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and sodium are just some of them. If nutrients are lacking, plants will not grow healthy and strong. There are two kinds of fertilizers. The first type is called commercial fertilizer. Commercial fertilizers are chemicals that are produced and sold by a chemical company. A farmer adds them to the soil to make plants grow faster and healthier. Commercial fertilizers are readily available. However, since they are chemicals, they can be harmful to the environment and even to the plants themselves when not properly applied. They are also more expensive than natural fertilizers. Natural fertilizers are derived from decayed plants and animals. Decomposing plants, animal manure, and vegetable waste can be made into a compost. A compost is a layered heap of decayed organic matter. Compost and other natural fertilizers are preferred because they are inexpensive and effective. However, natural materials need to undergo decomposition first and hence may take time to prepare. Handling them can be quite messy too. Whether natural or commercial, fertilizers are mixed with the soil where plants grow. Plants will absorb the nutrients supplied by these fertilizers and use these for growth.
Thanks for telling me about fertilizers, Mr. Cruz. I will use them to make these unhealthy rice plants grow stronger and faster.
That's okay, Mangustin. I have to go now. I still have to visit Mang Crispin and see if his plants are growing well too.
I forgot to ask Mr. Cruz which type of fertilizers is better for my rice plants. I don't know which one to choose.
When Mangosteen identified his problem of choosing which type of fertilizer to use for his rice field, he decided to use the scientific method and find out for himself.
Pong, I want to know which fertilizer is better for our plants.
I have a suggestion, Father. Why don't you use small portion of our rice field to conduct an experiment?
Maybe we can choose the portion with the sickly plants.
I think that will be great. Let's divide this part of the field into two. Let us use a commercial fertilizer on one part and natural fertilizer on the other.
That's a great idea. Then we can observe which side will have better looking plants after a week. Look, Pong, our rice field looks better than before. The plant seems to be healthier and taller. But I cannot tell which side is which. Both areas seems to have the same improvement.
I agree, Father. The commercial fertilizer works as well as the natural fertilizer. That means we can use natural fertilizer instead of expensive commercial fertilizer. That's why we can save money.
Mangosteen and Pong were able to arrive at a decision because they used the scientific method. Can you identify the steps they took? What did you learn from them? Mangosteen first identified the problem. Which type of fertilizer is best for their plants? They conducted an experiment by dividing a small portion of their rice field, the one with the unhealthy rice plants, into two. They added a commercial fertilizer to one portion and a natural fertilizer to the other. The rice plants in both areas show the same degree of improvement. Mangosteen and Pong concluded that since both fertilizers are effective, they would use the cheaper natural fertilizer. Through the scientific method, Mangosteen and Pong were able to come up with an effective solution to their problem. Farming requires a lot of decision-making. Mangosteen and Pong were able to make a sound decision because they followed the scientific method. Let's remember, plants need nutrients from the soil in order to grow. Some of these nutrients are nitrogen, phosphorus, sodium, and potassium. However, the soil may not be able to provide all the nutrients that plants need. Hence, farmers need to fertilize the soil. Fertilizers can be commercial or natural. Both are effective in enhancing the growth of plants. And that marks the end of our lesson in applying the scientific method in choosing fertilizers. In the next lesson, you will learn about crop rotation. Stay tuned and see you for another episode.